welcome back to the Chappy Bengals Podcast. I am here, joined by my co-host, Chappy. Chappy, how are we doing today?
Doing great, man. Welcome back.
You stoked to get the show rolling again?
Stoked to get the show rolling again, and we're just gonna fucking rip into some football, and that's what we're the best at. So
Absolutely. So we've had the draft and now the schedule release. Today's show will be based on the schedule release more so. We got a lot of matchups and stuff we want to talk about, kind of get into just priming the start of the 2025 NFL season for you guys. And obviously we got plenty more where that came from down the pipeline to go. But we want to kind of dive into some of those big matchups to start and get into some of the latest news, notes, and kind of what's been going on in the NFL to start off. And you'll get some of our takes along the way as well. So I think we're going to start here with the latest news. And I know this is a topic that we've kind of touched on recently on some of our last pod episodes. And that was one Brock Purdy signing a record contract of 5 years, $265 million, 181 guaranteed. This was a big topic of discussion between me and you, Chappy. Was Purdy going to get paid? And turns out he did. So, what are your thoughts, man?
Honestly, it's just like market price. Like at this point, it's like you go out for fucking steak and seafood, you're gonna get the market price. Like I don't understand this at all. This guy was, honestly good for Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Like, come out of fucking nowhere, do your thing with San Fran, get paid out of your ass just for being a quarterback that throws the ball.
I think I was listening on the radio and they said this was going to be a Disney movie at some point too, which I was laughing about. Of course, that's what this would turn into. But I'm happy for the guy. I mean, you can't. He's actually gotten somebody to a Super Bowl, right? So
that's
fair. What are you going to do? We've had this conversation so many times. Like, what are you going to do with the quarterback market?
Honestly, it will continue to grow. Like we joked about it. Trevor Lawrence got paid out of his ass, hasn't done shit. Like you just said, like Buddy actually got paid for doing something, which is fair. Do I think Purdy is an MVP type of player and should get paid MVP type money like the other guys just did? No, I think that's incredibly ridiculous of the NFL and just honestly the owners to kind of continue to raise that bar on their own selves. But hey, we're here where we are. Be a quarterback, kids, grow up, throw a ball. That's all you got to do.
That's what you got to do. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing was like, it's pretty straightforward. But I think the biggest takeaway for me was let's first squash kind of the rhetoric of like the team sentiment around like Brock Purdy's only been this good because of the fact that San Francisco's been so good and they put together such a good roster and they've had a group of such talented players. I don't think that matters, man. Like you're assembling a team. Football is a team sport. And if Purdy fits, like you're obviously going to pay the guy, right? Regardless of if he was on another team, would he have the same success? No, probably not. But that doesn't matter because he's on the team that he's on right now and he fits perfectly. So you give the guy the money and you go on from there. But they've been able to draft and develop. And I think that's the biggest thing that's going to help them along the way, right? So, but yeah, that was the first news story we wanted to get to. Another extension, Ravens signing Derrick Henry to a 2-year, $30 million deal with $25 million guaranteed. So this is basically a guaranteed deal. Pretty surprising. I think we're all just kind of waiting for Henry to croak here, but he's clearly doesn't look close to that given the season he had last year. So what are your thoughts on that one? Seems pretty fitting, right? I mean, you got to keep rolling with them.
Dude is an animal. Like I think that's the number one is the dude is literally ridiculous. I got Colby fucking banging on the door here behind me. That's awesome.
Don't worry about the noises in the background.
The child.
Just going on a little bit. That's all. She's clearly on Brock Purdy's side here.
She's on. She's
fired up.
No, but between Derrick Henry, this guy, what he does with the training, what he does with his body, like last season, we thought there was a dip coming about 2 seasons ago, definitely in fantasy. We were kind of questioning, okay, is this guy genuinely going to fall off? It was the first down season. I used the year before as an opportunity because I kind of was like, this guy's got more yards on his legs than any fucking running back in this entire fucking league. And honestly, career-wise, probably running the same kind of course of it. And then got him back for cheap, and that worked out pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's something because he just you need, if you've got Derrick Henry and you've got an offense, especially that runs specific to the run, and that Baltimore team is just all about that, and they got a strong line, and hey, take it to the fucking house. And I don't think that that's going to change, even if it's just like we saw what Zeke turned into, right? Like he's not even a fucking comparison here, but he was just a goal line kind of guy. Yeah. And if Derrick Henry can just be a goal line guy, he's still gonna pop in fucking 10 to 15, and that's what you want. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that they paid him. It's just kind of gotta be like, hey, one of those things that you pay it out because you know what the results are gonna be. Like in my opinion.
I agree. I think it checks out, and if anything, the running back position has taught us that they're not just running backs. These are valuable, skilled position players, regardless of running back market, all that nonsense. Like, they clearly had an amazing year last year, and it's warranted. So nobody's going to bat an eye on that. And then the last kind of news topic we had here were the NFL owners are going to vote on a proposal to change the playoff format. Now, this was something we talked about before. I think our biggest argument when we were talking about this was the fact that the division won't, like the division winner, there just won't be the same merit to it. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get that same competitive kind of thing going on at the end of the year where everybody's fighting for that spot. Now it's just based on seeding, so it's going to be more record-based, turns out. But, I mean, the good thing, if you're in a tougher division where you have like similar wins, say you're 10-11 win team, and you're in a division like, say, the AFC North where the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, things like that, or you're in the NFC North with the Lions, the Vikings, like that played out last year, right? Just because you come second in that division, it's not going to matter if you have a wicked record. So there's a plus to it, but I don't like the fact that you're going to lose that competitiveness to the divisions and fighting for that title. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know we're half and half on this, to be fair, like that it can spark some sort of, lack of rivalries. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. That it was like, hey, you're just going to lose that. Like, that's what makes the schedule so great at the end of the season. And it really pushes, like, you'll never have a Minnesota-Detroit situation like you did, right? So I think that, depending on how they would do the seeding and all that, but I think there's so much more to say about those actual, good teams and good divisions, and just kind of sparking that to be, you might have a really, really good fucking team, and then you might have a shitty division, where the Atlanta Falcons get in for nothing.
Yeah, the NFC South. Yes.
The NFC South, and there's just like, I don't know, like, do you want that? I don't know. This was the kind of talking point last time, so I'm halfway in between on it. Like, good teams should be in the playoffs, and it should give the best opportunity for the good teams to win, right? And I back that idea. And it's a shitty format for that, but it is the format that's worked for years and years. So
we'll see how that goes, but we'll keep tabs on that and go from there. But today, so we're going to get into a couple segments here. First one being, we want to talk about, obviously, the schedule release. And first, we're going to touch on some of these marquee matchups. We're talking, primetime games, revenge games, some season storylines for us to look at here and kind of break down, all that is the 2025 NFL schedule. And first, I want to kind of touch on some of the primetime games with obviously our favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, with the most primetime games this year with 7. And funny enough, they actually have, I think it's 5 of those primetime games in the first 8 weeks, that's great. So if you didn't get enough Chiefs exposure at the end of last year, you're going to get a full slate of that to start the year again. So here we go. And then if you actually take a look at the schedule, Washington has the most standalone games, meaning just like Christmas Day, things like that, not just necessarily prime time itself. But that's interesting considering Washington was like a couple years ago, they would never get primetime games. They were just that team. But the Jaden Daniels effect has come through, and they're clearly one of the hot teams, and everybody wants to see them, right? But so we'll kind of go through. KC 7, Dallas has 6 primetime, Philly 6 primetime, and then Washington 6 primetime. So needless to say, the NFC East with all the primetime games here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Like, what do you think about Dallas in that situation? What do you think about Dallas?
Well, Dallas is always going to get it, though, right?
They're going to get it.
I
mean, like, this is where you kind of
year...
say, like, Washington is now stepping into the fold here because of the record that they had. Jaden Daniels, good acquisitions, teams coming along. What exactly has Dallas been doing to deserve? You know what I mean? Like, at what point?
I don't think they do anything to deserve it.
They don't do anything. They just Jerry must just pay the bills and say, fuck it, like, put us in. Prime time.
They're a big market. They're always going to get those games, right? Unless they're absolute dog shit. But at the same time, like, you got to remember, Dallas they were shittier last year. They should have been better. Dak was injured. Like, I don't know what to tell you. They're going to be a better team this year. Yeah. They're going to be.
Well, Dak's got to stay healthy.
You can say that about every team, though, right? Like, we can talk.
But that's the thing. Like, it's just, I think it ride and dies. Like, if Dak is dead, it's done.
Yeah, like, of course. They got to stay healthy. But if you're looking at it now and then you got Dallas acquiring George Pickens, I'm like, dude, like that's a scarier offense to deal with now. That's not the same Dallas team. Like, you got two good receivers.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you got to see what Javonte and that run game can be. I don't know. But a couple of years ago, Dallas was just throwing the fucking ball all the time. Yeah. And I think
they're like, it's not been all about their offense. Like, their defense has been crippled too, like with injury, and like there has been a lot of other stories to go along with why Dallas has not been Dallas-esque.
Yep.
But I just don't know if Dallas. I don't know. We'll get into it when we get all our predictions going. But stuff. I don't know. I just have a feeling about Dallas, just the same as I did with the Jets. Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right. All right.
Just doesn't feel right.
Well, we're not done talking about Dallas either, because we got some of these stretches to get into that are pretty nasty within the schedule, and I know Dallas is on here too. But some of the revenge games we're going to be taking a look at, see which one kind of stands out for you the most here. So we got Super Bowl rematch, Week 2, Eagles at Chiefs. That'll be a fun one to watch. And then we got AFC Championship, the Chiefs at the Bills, Week 9. And then we have potential. I don't know if this is like hinting at Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers, perhaps. Still waiting on that, as he is MIA on some ayahuasca retreat or something like that. But still soul searching out there, Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers, Week 1, if he's with the Steelers, they're at the Jets. So that could be an interesting one. Not only that, Week 8, the Packers are at the Steelers. So if A-Rod decides to sign with the Steelers here, we got some good games to watch for.
Little spicy games.
And then, if you're into the whole Russ returns to Denver Week 7, Giants at Broncos, if he's even the starter at that point, that could be a fun one to watch. And then probably your favorite here, we got the Darnold revenge game, Week 13, Vikings at the Seahawks. So that'll be a good one to watch too.
That'd be a great one. Yeah, it's like, is it a total revenge game? Kinda not. I don't know. He signed.
I would think so.
But hey, fuck it. Like, revival your career, go fuck those guys. Yeah, whatever. Like, we'll see.
Fuck yeah. We'll see how that goes. Out. A good slate of games there for revenge, but some season storylines to kind of watch for, some of these quirky narratives that we pulled up. One of the funniest ones that I saw was the Rams can pull off NFL history with the Bird Gauntlet, which is essentially all 5 Bird teams in one season. Now, no team has ever done that in the history of the NFL, obviously, because it's pretty tough to get all 5 Bird teams on your schedule, but imagine that. The Rams beat every single Bird team in the NFL this year. That would be a fun one to watch.
It's wild.
this is the
That's
NFL
all more
for you,
wild
man.
that it
Let's
just
call
never.
the storylines.
Yeah, it just never been a full bird fucking schedule for any
I
team.
know.
It's like, who knew?
That's pretty fucking
crazy.
wild. So that'll be fun to watch. But also, you got the Chiefs. They play in too many fucking primetime games, as per usual. Like I just said, they got 5 in the first 8 weeks. So you're going to get a heavy dose of Chiefs in primetime. Now, we'll see if that officiating narrative is going to change this year around. But who knows?
They're still fucking good, man. Like, I just, every time we talk about this, I still say to myself, like, fuck, like, they're still fucking good.
Of
like,
course,
you got to cash in. Like, it's crazy.
They're always going to be. It'll be interesting to watch them this year. And then one you might like, the Ravens baseball-esque schedule here.
Yeah, I read that one.
3 home games, followed by 3 road games, followed by 3 home games. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild setup. Some of these schedules, I think the Eagles too, they don't play a single back-to-back home game. Every game they have this year is alternating home away, home away, home away, which is pretty inconvenient because you can't really get settled for a couple weeks at a time. But interesting way to hand the defending
we'll
champions.
dig into the statistics on how many times travel affects. I know that jet lag can become a thing, but east to west travel isn't as bad as west to east. And we'll see how many of those games goes 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, go a little east, go a little west, come back. Let's see how that plans out. It'll be interesting to watch.
That's it, yeah. And then, so we got another fun one here. Potential Panthers to the Super Bowl. Potential Panthers to the Super Bowl narrative here. So the last time the Panthers opened against the Jaguars, the last 2 and only times they did that, they went to the Super Bowl, which was 2003 and 2015. So if you're looking for a sleeper bet to place here, might be Panthers to the Super Bowl.
What's that sitting at?
I bet you the odds are wild on that one if you take a look at that.
I'm definitely going to take a look at that right now as we go through this.
See
what that looks like.
I would say Panthers have to be probably not bottom 3, bottom 5.
I don't think they're going to odds. Yeah, I don't know. Like they're an interesting team. Like,
well, let's look at the win total quickly.
We saw a little step up last season at the end there. Like they became competitive.
So they're 6th in projected win total ranking right now. So 6.5 wins is their projected total. So if you're going to project them to win the Super Bowl, I would say their odds are down there. They're pretty low. That's for sure.
You're probably right.
So you got to pull that up, and then we can.
We got, you weren't off, very far off. We got plus 9,500. They are the 7th team from the bottom. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
That is
Saints,
quite interesting.
Titans, Jets, Giants, Browns, Raiders, Panthers.
Yes, and we will get into who we think the worst record is going to be in the NFL later on. Rattle those ones off, but. What I want to get into now is toughest and easiest schedules in the league. And if you guys haven't taken a look at that, so we have 3. The toughest schedules in the NFL are the Giants, the Browns, and the Lions. And then the easiest schedules in the league are the 49ers, the Saints, and the Patriots. Now, given the fact that there's been a lot of controversy around the Giants and how bad they were last year, the argument was, why are the Giants playing the toughest strength of schedule this year if they were so dog water last year, right? Like,
it's a hard argument. Like I don't know how you go doubled up and say fuck these guys. Fuck the G-men.
The thing is, the schedule is like predetermined too. Like you play the divisions ahead of time. It's already set in stone. They just happen to.
Maybe Dart becomes MVP worthy. Who knows? Maybe he's just what did he score? He scored like the highest on that one thing to determine like quarterback NFL success. He was like tied with like I can't remember what the other name was.
Never know.
You just don't
never
know.
know.
Yeah.
So he's got a weapon there too in Malik Neighbors. You never know. And if you want to get spicy and throw some money around on something like that, be my guest. Won't be where I'll be laying it though. That's for sure. But yeah, let's kind of get into some of these games. So one of the teams that I actually wanted to touch on with the easiest strength of schedule here is the 49ers,
Yeah.
which tying into the Brock Purdy news and things like that. I want to get your thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers for this season and what your expectations are. And we can kind of pull up their schedule here and let's go through some of the teams that they play. Like, they really don't play. I think it's 3 playoff teams they play in their schedule collectively all year. Like, to start, you got at Seattle, at New Orleans, then at home against Arizona and Jacksonville to start the season. Pretty easy to start off, right? Then you get at the Rams, at Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Houston, Giants. Like, I'm still not seeing a game that's real intimidating in that stretch, right?
Yeah.
So, you can go through the entirety of the schedule here.
And all I'm seeing right now are teams that get run the fuck through. That's the number one. And if you got a CMC that's even remotely healthy on this team again.
Looking good.
Like, will look like New Orleans, fucking done. Arizona, one of the worst running defenses. Jacksonville was just trash. You don't even have to. You can throw the ball there too. Rams, okay.
Rams, of course.
Still got fucking shit on the run, actually, last season. Tampa was decent. Actually, no, they were pretty bad, too.
Their defense was atrocious.
Yeah, this whole schedule is like, run me right down the fucking gut here. Look at
the 3 playoff teams. The 3 playoff teams that they're playing this year are the Rams.
That's crazy.
The Buccaneers and the Houston Texans.
Titans got shit on the run. Cleveland would probably be the hardest defense on the run that they're going to play. Everyone else is fucking pitiful against the run. So if CMC is healthy, which all indicators are saying that he is, hopefully he stays that way. Yep. Like, that plus what we know Kyle Shanahan to be able to do with an organization and coach them through it. And you're going to come around healthier this year, obviously. Ayuk, there's a lot of fucking narratives heading San Fran's way back. They are getting a little older. They've obviously traded some pieces. That being said, the core, the nucleus, like, you don't even even Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason's still with San Fran, yeah? He get traded. Fuck, he got traded, eh? There you go.
Sorry, guys. Chappy said he has to get his nose in the.
I didn't get my fucking. I'm not dipping in just as yet, but we're gonna get there.
We're still fresh off waking up here, football season getting going. But yeah, so it's McCaffrey, and then I think you got Garendo as the backup, and then they just drafted. Forget his name, but it was like a 6th or 7th round pick.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a CMC. It's going to be the CMC show if he's healthy. And then, like we just went through the schedule, this offense should be fine, even given the fact that they lost Deebo Samuel. Yeah. I know offensive line's a bit of a question, things like that. Defense, they lost a couple pieces as well. But I still think San Francisco is going to be a team that's going to be in contention. They're going to be right there. I don't expect them to fold like last year.
Bad schedule. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, just looking at that's nuts.
That is nuts. That's nuts. But that looks like an easy play. I think
everybody take the over in every fucking game here. Yeah. Like,
everybody expects San Francisco to get back on track here. Yeah. And I don't see otherwise, right? Like, I think if Ayuk's healthy and he comes back and this team gets going, they still got Kittle, they still got CMC.
Yeah.
I think they can be just fine. And then I think toughest side of things.
They got other receivers too that are coming up too. Like, it's not,
Ricky Pearsall for sure. He showed good at the end of the year.
Yep.
And he was actually one of the guys that I was looking at statting out there quickly. He had a lot of like red zone targets, and the targets that he was getting at the end of the season there. I know obviously Ayuk out of the lineup, things like that, but he's a guy that we're going to be touching on a little bit.
Well, he got stepped into the next role, right?
That's it. So he'll be one guy that we'll be taking a look at closely as well. Just seeing where these targets are going to go in this offense with Deebo gone now and how that's going to stat out. But over to the toughest side of things, we talked about the Giants, the Browns, unfortunately, and that's one of the stretches I want to talk about too when we get into some of these rough stretches and which one we think is the worst. And then you got the Lions. Have you taken a look at the Lions schedule?
I am doing that right now.
The Lions schedule is quite the showing here. Like, let's start off with the teams they play just in the first 5 weeks.
They're on
so you got at Green Bay,
Yeah.
versus Chicago, at Baltimore. You get Cleveland, at Cincinnati, at Kansas City, and then versus Tampa Bay.
That's
So
tough.
you already got a hard stretch to start the year off, with Cleveland being the easiest game there. And then beyond that, after your bye, you got Minnesota, Washington, Philly right out of the bye.
Yeah.
Quite the stretch for this team. And then
it
on the
doesn't-
back
it doesn't
end,
cool
too,
off
it
much
doesn't
either,
get
yeah.
easier, man. Like, you get a couple easy games sprinkled in there. Like, you split that up with the Giants, but then you get Green Bay, Dallas, the Rams, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have an easy stretch of games at all this season. So that'll be an interesting one, man. You get Detroit
Whole new
losing a lot of their coaching
crew.
staff.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson gone. This is going to be an interesting team to watch
Yeah.
this year. We saw them fall on their face in that playoff game. We're going to see how they rebound with the coaching staff. Now, obviously, they're full of talent on that
They're
roster,
super
but
fucking talented. And
We're gonna
they'll,
see,
they'll
man.
get their defensive pieces back. Like, there's going to be... it's going to be a different looking team, definitely on defense. But yeah, fuck.
That's going to be a
interesting.
team to watch. I can't wait because we play them, so that's going to be a great game. Week 5, I'm stoked to watch that game. But that is one of the teams, and now kind of knowing who is the toughest, who is the easiest, I want to look at some of these stretches of games in the schedules. And some of these are really tough for these teams. We're going to take a look at 5 of them, and we're going to see who has the toughest stretch. Now, we're going to start with the Bengals stretch of games here. We're going to go from weeks 13 to 16, and the Bengals play Baltimore on a Thursday night. Then you got in Buffalo, then Baltimore again at home, and then in Miami. I know Miami's a little softer, but that 3-game stretch of Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore is pretty ridiculous. Baltimore has hosted the Bengals on Thursday night for 4 consecutive years now. And I think if any of you guys pay attention to Warren Sharp, he did a little video commenting on this about how it's remarkable that one team has been shafted with these Thursday night short week games so consistently and consecutively over the past few years. And if you watch that video on his Twitter page, but you should go and watch that. It's crazy. Obviously, the schedule makers, they favor some teams. It is what it is. But it'd be nice to get a little swap there where you got to go to Cincinnati on the short week, because those short weeks are tough on teams. And yeah, like obviously the percentage of winning those games isn't in your favor if you're the road team. So that's a tough stretch. And then next stretch we want to get into is who we got here. The Cowboys gauntlet from week 12 to week 17. So let's pull that up here on the schedule. Cowboys week 12 to week 17. So you got Philly, KC, at Detroit, Minnesota, Chargers, at Washington.
Yeah, that's
pretty crazy stretch. That's a crazy stretch.
I was just gonna say, I was like, there's some of these where you look at them, and obviously you're just talking about Cincinnati here, where last year you needed that 5 wins to even have a fucking shot, and then you're running into something like that at the tail end, and then in Dallas's case right here, you got one of those to end your fucking season. That is horrific. You got to win and take advantage of every game earlier on in the season. And that's not you start off right with Philly week 1 with Dallas. So you're going to have a tough little slate. There's definitely an easy stretch like right after that to capitalize on. But then to
Jets,
end
Carolina.
your season on that, that's awful.
Not a lot of wiggle room for the Cowboys this year, right?
Depends on what Minnesota is, honestly. I think Minnesota's, it's going to be interesting to see how they change with Darnold not there. I think the coaching is obviously going to take a lot of the momentum from last year and carry it forward into this season. Nothing's really changed there. So that's going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, Detroit, KC, Philly, that's tough. There's not a lot of calls going
it helps
away in
that
those games.
it helps that they do get the Philly KC game at home. Even
Yeah.
like these games are all at home. Like Philly KC, then they're in Detroit, then it's home Minnesota Chargers. Like it helps that they're getting them at home. But at the same time, like by this point in time, you're going to know what Dallas is. If they're a contender, man, these games are going to be good. This is going to be a good stretch of games to watch. So we'll see kind of what Dallas is, but their division is just, they're so good now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
We used to talk about the NFC East being the NFC least because they were so garbage. Well, it's kind of different nowadays. You got 3 teams that are playoff teams easily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's going to be a division I can't wait to watch this season for sure.
Yeah.
And then back to some of these other stretches. So Cowboys, we got the Viking stretch from week 7 that we want to take a look at. So we go over there, week 7. You got Philly. So this is after their bye week. You got Philly at the Chargers, at Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago, Green Bay. So pretty solid stretch for them too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but this NFC North, man, because they're so good too, like they're playing good teams. I think so they play our division as well, the AFC North. So they're playing the Bengals, they're playing the Ravens. Like they got some tough matchups this year, same as us. So their schedules, that division's playing good teams. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that. But that stretch, not an easy one either. I'm kind of interested to see how the Chargers are going to be this year.
Yeah.
Given how they were last year, we talked about the ease of schedule and how they would be,
they definitely
a potential
eclipsed that for sure with their 9.5 wins last season, and then it was like, how are they getting that done? And then, okay, how are they getting that done? Pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. And then they fell on their face in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back and what this team looks like. But that's one team I want to watch kind of on that stretch. Now back to some of these other ones. We got this one I wanted to look at. So between these two teams, the Giants and the Browns, we haven't even taken a look at the Giants' schedule here. But I want to take a look at, let's compare these. Let's take a look at the Browns' schedule first and foremost. I want you to see what their opening stretch of games looks like here. I know none of us have a ton of faith in the Browns this year, I would assume. But let's kind of look at the first 5 games that the Browns have here. They got Cincinnati at home to start the season. They're in Baltimore. Then they play Green Bay. They're at Detroit. Then they play Minnesota at home.
Yeah.
In those 5 games, I don't see a win. Yep. And then even beyond that, you get Pittsburgh. You're in Pittsburgh. Then you play Miami. And then you're at New England. So, like, I'm looking at this going, damn, man. Like, the Browns could be the worst team in the league this year if they can't steal any of these games.
Yeah, that's...
Kenny Pickett, quarterback. I don't really like the look of that one.
It's definitely not looking the best. That's... Yeah, I'm trying to, like, look at the schedule here and be a little bit like, okay, who's got the soft one? Who's got the hard one? Who's going to fucking come through? I think the NFC West schedule right now is the most interesting to me, just as you break down all 4 teams. But I'm looking at the AFC North, and you're definitely right in that those two blend the North.
Yeah.
And it's a tough fucking look. And
it's going to be a fight, man.
I just don't see anything that Cleveland has, per se, that's going to be super competitive. I don't think they're going to lose every fucking one of those games. But
no, like their defense might win them some games at the start.
In the middle here. Like, you're going to have to steal one in the Jets and New England, and New England's going to take a step, I think, a little bit better this year.
Yep, I would agree.
And then, who are you... Yeah, I don't know.
Like, even on the back end, look at after they have the bye after New England, you get a soft one against the Jets, right? Yeah. Still in New York. But then you get Baltimore again, then you're in Vegas. You get San Francisco, Tennessee, but then the backstretch is Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Night. Yeah.
So you got a couple softies in there, but I'm probably taking the under. What's Cleveland's under right now?
Yeah, Cincy, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit,
4.5
Minnesota,
wins.
Pittsburgh. We'll see what Pittsburgh is. Miami, we'll see what Miami is. Those are 2 fringe teams that could be good, could be shit. Just kind of probably right in the middle there. And then New England, that's your only real stretch. New England, bye, Jets, that's probably it. And then I think the Raiders are going to be much better this season. And you got San Fran, Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be shit. So you got 3 wins here that collectively I think is a possibility. And that's like if we're saying that these teams are just shit. Like,
yeah. And guess what their line is? Guess what their win total is?
It's got to be 3.5.
It's 4.5.
4.5. Ooh.
I don't see 4 wins on that schedule, dude.
What did we have last year? It was New England that we just thought was like an absolute shit show, and we were
because they had
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Funny enough,
and then
I'm literally the complete opposite this year on New England.
Yeah,
like I think
you're buying in now
because they have one of the easiest schedules in the league.
Yeah,
and their division's a lot shittier too. So it's like what you
got
the Bills.
That's
I'm not afraid of the Dolphins.
We'll get into this, because I think we're about to talk about this kind of stuff. But yeah, this is it's a different season. We'll see how this goes. There's a couple free W's out there.
So the Browns, but last one here, just on tough stretches and shitty end of the stick on the schedule here. I want you to kind of go through the Giants schedule. So we think the Browns is shit. Look at the Giants schedule here. So let's roll through this. So Giants open the season at Washington. Tough. Okay, and then their next games are at Dallas, versus Kansas City, versus the Chargers. Does anybody see a win there? Not exactly. You get a softie at New Orleans, still on the road. But then the next stretch of games for the Giants are you got Philly, Denver, Philly, San Fran, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, New England. Have we seen a W yet at this point?
I'm not outside of the Saints. I think it's
outside of the Saints
here. Chicago, we'll see what Chicago is.
And obviously they might catch a whiff of a game. It happens.
Green Bay, I'm not convinced after what we saw. Like, I think they're still going to be creeping out those wins, but I just don't think that they got everything there yet. We'll see. They made some good additions in the draft.
The Giants this year are my New Orleans take of last year. That's what the Giants are.
Then they've got to pay that last
We'll get in. Yeah. We'll get into how I see their season going, but that schedule does not look pretty. So if you're a Giants fan, buckle the fuck up because it's going to be a rough one this year. But hey, I mean, unless Dart comes out of fucking nowhere and he shows that he's the second coming of Jesus, I mean, let's see it because it's a hell of a schedule. And I think the biggest
call it the Book of Eli. Let's see it. Let's see what happens.
By what week does Jackson Dart start? I think that was the talk around the town on a lot of these podcasts that I was listening to. I don't know if you want to throw a rookie in there too quick either with this schedule, though, right?
Yeah. No, it's the defenses, man. Like, that's where I would be looking at this, and I'd be like, do you want Dallas's defense? Do you want KC's defense? Do you want that coming at your rookie? That's the number one thing that we've always said. It's like you throw your rookie quarterback into these shitty situations with no offensive line, and then it becomes a little bit of a fucking problem because now life is coming at you quicker than it ever did before. And I just don't know. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. Giants getting their asses handed to them every week. Yeah. But now let's look at some of the betting futures. We just talked about some of those. So me and Chappy here, we're going to take a look at this list. And we're going to take one over and one under play based on some of the teams that are statted out here. And I already talked about mine. My over was the New England Patriots. That's an easy one for me. So their line right now is 8.5 wins. I think they get over that, man. I think potential fringe playoff team, New England Patriots this year, just based on their schedule. Yeah. And when you pull that schedule up right now, we talked about there being top 3 easiest in the league. You go to New England's schedule, they start the year off against Vegas, which, that's a toss-up as far as I'm concerned. Then they're at Miami. I don't think anyone's afraid of Miami anymore. So that game, then you get Pittsburgh, Carolina. Like, that's a potential 4-0 Patriots team right there. Mm-hmm. And then you get the games where it's at Buffalo. But then look at this stretch after. New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland. Like, how soft is the opening schedule for the Patriots? And we talked about last year, their schedule was brutal the first 8 weeks. It's the complete opposite this year. Yep. So for me, when I look at that, I'm like, Patriots could have like 6 wins in the first 8-9 weeks here.
Yeah, fair.
So, to me, the one that stands out, the over I'll be taking is the New England Patriots. So shout out my buddy Jamal over there. I'm on your side this time, bud.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
on
how's
your
Jamal
side this
feeling?
time. He's probably
Jamal?
feeling good.
Yeah.
But that's my take. Now, what do you got looking at some of these lines?
I think the most underrated in this situation going in, we'll get into this a little bit after and we'll go in more depth, but I think the Raiders at 6.5, you can tell Val that I am on the Raiders train. I think they have pieces on offense that they've acquired that are going to tip the scales here. If we look at the schedule as well, New England right off the bat, kind of getting to
Just
a little
said that
tough
was a
one at the
toss-up,
Chargers, right? Well, that's like Chargers, good team. Washington, good team. Chicago, not so sure just yet. And we'll kind of see what they develop out to be. Their offense might click this season, but we saw that there was a big opportunity. Indianapolis, I don't know what the fuck they are still.
Nope.
We thought they were going to be an offensive juggernaut last year. That fell on our fucking faces. Shane Larkin, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that was great, great call
you
there.
Win some, you lose
Hey,
some.
I honestly thought that we were like, it just came out to be that it's a toxic fucking room and no one fucking wants to play. Apparently,
Rich wasn't exactly the QB we thought either.
No, he definitely was not. But then after that, you obviously in Indianapolis, I think there's a win. Tennessee, I think there's a win. KC's going to be a tough one, but then Jacksonville, I think that could be a win. Denver's an interesting team again this season. We'll see whether or not they develop further. But then Dallas, Cleveland, Chargers, Denver again. This is a tough slate to end it, but you got the Giants at the end there, and I think that's what will tip the scales. Genty, Bowers, Gino, I think this is a different looking team altogether. Added some really good pieces. So
I will say I think their line is a little bit suppressed just because of the fact that their division is really good. So, but they're scrappy when they play division games.
It is the hardest odds. Literally, the Browns are at minus 175 at 4.5, and then you got the Raiders at 6.5 at minus 155. Those are the hardest odds for a schedule for the over as it sits today. So I do think that there is a little bit there leaning to it being suppressed as a line. So getting them at 6.5 is actually probably worth it, given that we just saw what Genty did over the course of the season. There is going to be some adjustments, but that's a fucking talent. And that we've seen that this team knows how to operate with talent. Bowers took a huge step. Going to be one of the better tight ends in the next fucking decade here. And I think you got a running back to complement that. Little out, little in, little fucking A gap. He's going to do what his thing does. I love this guy.
I do think, like, even if they aren't winning games, I think they're going to be scrappy and an entertaining team to watch for sure. They have a lot of young talent.
I think Gino is the biggest part to this, man. I think that's what I'm saying. I think Gino is such a big part to this because there's gaps here, but there's consistency too. Like he's going to go on a stretch where he'll win you 4 games potentially, even 3 like we did with Seattle last season. So we're going to kind of look at that team and go, okay, like Seattle, Raiders, like they're obviously Seattle was a little further ahead in that, grand scheme of things, but I look at this and say, hey, the Raiders are that far behind with a little bit of talent behind at the helm, and hey, you got all the talent kind of in the world in the field here. So let's see where it goes. I'll bank on that before anything else.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think the biggest thing was Pete Carroll and just bringing a little bit of continuity here for the team, man. Get rid of these young coaches. The Josh McDaniels, the Antonio Pierces, bring a guy in who knows what he's doing and just get this ship steadied here. And I think that's what's going to happen. So I like to take. Now we're going to look at the unders now. So I know we talked about the Browns. We weren't high on that one already, so that was a gimme. But I'm going to start with you this time on the team that you think is going to go under their win total right now. Funny enough, there's one that stood out. I just want to kind of touch on this quick. Dallas Cowboys, we talked about them. Win total 7.5.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Is that not low?
I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. There's the feelings
7.5?
that I got out there, man. I don't think that they're gonna be that good. I will get into it, but I there's a gut feeling, just like I had last,
hey.
and I called the Jets like a fucking, like, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's
3,000-4,000 miles out.
Like beer goggles with the Dallas Cowboys.
You kind of see this, like, I don't know. It's just, I think it again, contingent on health.
Like they have the same win total as the Colts. Like,
yeah, but I'm just feeling like
crazy?
Jack is starting to get that like narrative behind him. Where is he going to be able to play? Is he gonna? If he plays, he's fucking unbelievable. We know that.
Listen.
Here we go. Like fuck. Like he's solid, especially fantasy wise. Like he's a fucking great quarterback to have in fantasy.
I gotta see if this is updated ever since that fucking George Pickens trade. That's what I gotta see. Like I feel like the line has shifted potentially.
Does that help though? Like, do we think Pickens?
Yeah, I think that moves the needle tremendously, man. Like that is a big playmaker they added.
Yes.
I honestly
it's also
think
a absolute nutcase when it comes to certain shit too. So it could be the best of everything. It could be the fucking was this a good decision?
I don't honestly think it's
I think it was a steal.
I
think it was a steal. I think the trade itself was definitely a steal. For what you're potentially
their line
getting,
is literally 7.5 still. That's fucking crazy.
Got it. It's intuition. Call it intuition.
I might have to smash that one, man. Smash that one.
You're gonna go on the over, eh?
But I might honestly take the over on that. Right. That looks enticing.
Yeah.
But now back to the unders. Who you got? Who you got on the under total here?
So, I think there's going to be a regression with the Steelers. So I don't like.
Mikey T. He's not hitting.
I don't think 8.5
this year.
I don't think so. I think there's just too much going on there right now. They're on the like absolute borderline of like, is their defense gonna carry them? We saw what the offense was last season. It was just a fucking like dart. Like, what are we gonna get? Are you gonna get a couple of fucking games out of Justin Fields, and then you're gonna get 4 games out of fucking Wilson to carry us on into the thing? We didn't know what the fuck we were getting out of that. And then the last stretch of games said more to me about what this season's gonna look like than anything else. And they were fucking awful. So I don't have any faith in the fucking Steelers at 8.5. It's plus 120. They don't have any faith in the fucking Steelers at 8.5. I think there's just too much going on. Now you have the fucking potential for Aaron Rodgers. And again, I took it with the Jets. I said, I don't know what the fuck is getting out of Aaron
Does that
Rodgers.
even move the needle a lot, though? Either,
I might go down. I go fucking the other way. I can't get an understanding of what the Steelers were. If they don't have anything on offense, they're going to lose a lot of fucking games here. So, what do they have on offense? All their fucking offensive players are fucking out the door. So we got DK one Metcalf, in. You got DK Metcalf. Okay, sick. That's awesome, right? Najee's gone, so now you're gonna rely on fucking Buddy in the backfield to catch a ball. That happened a little bit, but holy shit! I don't see. Like, the Steelers are defensive driven. We know that. That's their whole fucking mindset. But is that gonna win you 9 games? I don't think so. I don't know. That's like, I was on the Steeler train up until like the last couple games of the season. I was like, oh, this is fucking awful, like awful. And maybe they're better, but I don't see it. I don't see it. That's my take. No. I don't see it at all.
You know what? I said before that I wasn't going to be as biased this year with my NFL takes. So, I mean, like, bias aside here, I do agree with you.
Yeah.
But I just think for reasons that you see a lot of like these older veterans and stuff, and it really truly does look like the locker room is not the same. And even now with the direction that the team is going, like, I don't know how you're a vet, and like you look at TJ Watt, he kind of, referenced on Instagram about like wanting to be traded and that kind of stuff. And we could talk about all the hypotheticals all day on that, but it just looks like, man, I don't think this team is going to be bought in, especially if they roll out Mason Rudolph as their quarterback.
Yeah, like you got Will Howard. Like and so there's a potential for that to come in and maybe do some things. Who knows?
How many times do we see a quarterback?
But what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. What are we seeing out of this?
You're asking a lot of this guy. And I know he's a championship, college winning quarterback, but still, there's plenty of those guys that have come into the league many times that just haven't been anything. And then like they haven't even really gotten that much better, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at what they got DK Metcalf, and even DK Metcalf, man, that dude just wanted to be traded. He didn't really give a fuck. He wanted his money and he wanted to go somewhere. So I don't know if he's bought into
you got some
actually wanting to win.
But we're thinking 8.5 wins is going to come on a rookie based team.
Yeah.
No shot. Will Howard, if he gets in, Caleb Johnson might get. Jalen Warren's going to take most part of it. I look at this and I go, do you actually have a team that's structured in any kind of veteran leadership? And when you're relying on DK Metcalf to be that for you and Pat Freiermuth, I don't know. That to me is just at 8.5.
No Najee, rookie running back now too.
You are laying a prayer to fucking Coach T to just do again to get the mediocrity of getting potentially there and not there and maybe being a playoff team and they getting fucking smoked like they did last season. I don't know. This is I disagree with your takes last season because it was just hey, you're going to keep doing the same fucking wheel and same wheel. I'm now looking at this team and I'm going, no, it's at some point you just got to fucking eat it and build something more.
Just the Steelers have to lose. They need to be a bad team and get a better quarterback. And you know what? This upcoming draft is going to be a lot better. I think this is the year, man. You eat it. You take it on the chin. Now, obviously, it doesn't just work like that. But I do think this is the season that the Steelers take it. And I don't think Mike Tomlin's there at the end of the year, man. I'm going to tell you the truth. I just think it unravels this year.
Yeah, it might be one of those just kind of legacy, move on from it, see where it goes. It's tough because football is one of those situations where just when you have a coach like that, to sever ties is it's absolutely, especially culture defined, culture built. The culture has been built with Coach T for fucking ever. So now you're going to change that. So it's going to be a massive shift for the organization. So I don't know if that leads that way, but if you can't, you just keep winning. To not anything big, but just kind of getting in the dance. That was my thing. Just get to the dance, right? And show up. But
yeah. No, I get that. I agree with you there, but my take, I think I already kind of told you, I'm taking unders on the Giants. Their line is fucking 5.5.
Yeah.
There's no chance they win more than that. There's nothing else that needs to be said. And we're going to go into a quick little speed round here and kind of rattle off some of our predictions quickly, and you'll see it'll go hand in hand with where I think this Giants team is going to be at the end of the year. But just like I said last year with the Saints, the writing's on the wall, man, and there was so much turmoil going in. I think it's the desperation with, after all the shit that happened, Saquon going and that team falling apart and the turmoil with them, man, Daniel Jones, it was a mess. I do think the Giants should have got rid of that, the head coach, the GM. I think they should have just wiped the slate clean right now and started fresh, but they decided to ride it out again, and I think they're going to eat it, man. So I'm going Giants under 5.5. That just seems far too much for me, man. I can't take it with that team in that division too. No shot. So let's get into this little speed round here. So what we're going to do is me and Chappy, we're going to kind of pick a few things. So first thing being best record. Who do we think is going to have the best record in the league? Who's going to have the worst record? We're going to go first, head coach to be fired, the sleeper playoff team, who has the most to prove this year, and then our fantasy MVP candidate for this season. So we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet, go through. So Chappy, we'll start with you, man. We're going to go through the categories together. We'll start with best record. Who do you got having the best record in the NFL this year?
Bills, baby.
Fuck off, dude. You can't take my team, bro.
It's the Bills, man. Yeah, it's not your team. We're fucking behind you. What are you talking about?
I mean, my team
fucking Bengals. Chappy at Bengals Podcast. You're going to take the Bills. You're going to take the Bills.
So this was your team last year, which that panned out quite well.
100%.
I'm with you on this one. I think it's
tough to see. Just look at the
division.
division.
They got one of the easiest schedules in the league this year.
Schedule, division.
They've gotten better through the
they've
draft,
gotten
through
better.
free agency, team as a whole.
There's some good acquisitions that they've had. It's tough not to argue that
schedule in the league.
Like FYI. I think they're gonna win way more than what they're currently slated to, right? So
quick little take here. Start the season. They got Baltimore, obviously the home opener there, but then you get the Jets, Miami, New Orleans, New England, Atlanta, right? And then they got a handful of softer games scattered in there. The back end of their schedule is a little tougher, but I think the Bills, they're just kind of a seasonal team. So they're kind of like the Maple Leafs
to New England twice, so. Shut the fuck up. And when you get to play the Jets twice.
Yes, exactly.
And Miami is not the best, and you're going to get some fair weather there. I just think it's going to be an easy thing to kind of go through if the Bills just continue what they were doing last season. And Josh Allen took a big step, massive step, right? So I think that's not going to regress. I think it's just going to continue. So he's the guy, man, and I can't see that faulting at all.
Yeah, no, I like that. So we both take the Bills, best record in the NFL.
Who you got?
Like I said, I'm going to be a little less biased, or else I just go Cincinnati everywhere. But for worst record now, we're going to go, I'll start this one off. Worst record, I'm actually not going to go with the Giants. Okay. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
I'm going to double down because I think they're going to be absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
They have no quarterback situation. I don't even care if they drafted Tyler Shuck or whatever his name is. There's no shot in hell, man. They're going to be a bad team this year again. And I don't like the coaching hire. I just don't like where the team is right now. They got cap issues, offensive line problems. Like, I don't like it.
Everything wrong with that team.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of good coming from this team, man. Yeah. So I got Saints, worst team in the league. What about you?
I would 100% agree that the Saints are the worst team in the league. I was looking at this and I was like, Saints are like, there were stretches last season where I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what is out on the field right now? Like, how is this like scoring and just getting torched right now?
Sad to watch.
And it was just like, there was a couple games there where it was the only game to watch and we were like, dear God, I'd rather watch grass grow. Like, this is fucking awful.
I agree.
But I'm going to go with the Titans. Just for the fun of it.
Even with Cam Ward?
Cam Ward will come see what that comes to be. But honestly, it's just, for me, it's when we have these rookie quarterbacks come into situations that are kind of, I don't know, what was the Titans last season? Like, we called it a scrappy team. Was it a scrappy team? I don't know. So I don't know. We'll kind of see. But definitely, we'll just go contrarian a bit and go to the Titans.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. I mean, that's easy enough. Perfect. Now we got first coach to be fired. So I'm going to start you off with this one.
Daboll.
Dude, you're just taking my picks.
No, I think it's the easiest
you're
ones out there.
You're taking my fucking picks,
I think it's the easiest things out there.
I'm telling you, Brian Daboll is gone halfway through the season.
Oh, I don't even think it gets there.
GM is gone. I think this is a clean house. They are
such a clean, ready to sweep. Like,
there is going to be so much crap going on. I think, writing's on the wall.
Yeah,
man.
They had Malik Neighbors ready to fucking jump ship in week 3. Like, it was, and that maybe speaks to character on his end, but it also speaks to the fucking tire fire that was the Giants last season. Absolutely. And what we saw was sell the team, fuck this guy, all that. Like, not good. So I think you're right on that. I think the leash is very short, and it's the Giants, man. It's Daboll for sure.
I hear you. That was easy. Brian Daboll, first head coach fired. Now, sleeper playoff team. I'll start this one off. I already said this, but I'm going New England Patriots. I already told you their schedule is soft, and I think Vrabel. Funny enough, I actually watched. They did a segment on YouTube. They have their own little YouTube series. Mm-hmm. I watched that the other day. Fuck, man! Vrabel got me wanting to run through a brick wall. I
saw it too.
Yeah. Did you watch some of it?
I saw the clips too. It's like, are we back? Dude, are we back, guys? Like,
he's a good head coach. I'll give you that. He never really won anything in Tennessee that was big, but he had good teams, and I think he's going to be a great coach, and he's going to fit in. So I got New England, man. I got them squeezing in. What about you?
You can count Val in on this one. It's the Raiders,
Oh,
baby.
it's the Raiders, man.
It's the Raiders,
That's
baby.
tough, man. For you to say the Raiders are going to get in means that like someone else isn't getting in, because the rest of the teams in that division are really good too.
I think there's going to be a little regression with Mr. Bo over there. When we were taking a look, when we were taking a look at, well, like Denver, let's not get it twisted here. Denver took a big fucking step last season. A big step. And like that was one of those things that caught us all off guard a little bit. The Chargers had an easy fucking schedule. That's changed up a bit. So I think you take a look at this and the Raiders and what they've done. I think they're a creeper in that division. Now, I don't think they're going to fucking win it by any means, but I think someone there is going to fall back. We'll see what that looks like. I don't think it's going to be the Chargers. I think it might be Denver. So it's going to be my hot take right to start. But I think the Raiders are a sneaky fucking team that might catch some people off guard. So that's it.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I think the Denver had a really good offseason too. So I thought they were going to be a better team. But I could see Bo Nix taking the step back.
I think
which
there's going to be, like when we were looking at the quarterbacks, and we'll get into this with the fantasy stuff, like Bo Nix was not up there as high as you think he would be to kind of warrant that. Herbert was, but Bo Nix wasn't. So
he wasn't very efficient. He had a lot of big plays, but like efficiency-wise, wasn't the greatest.
Kind of luck of the draw plays for sure. Like there was a couple like game-changing plays that were massive. They were definitely clutch, but were they
a lot of highs and lows?
Yeah,
like so opposite ends there.
I agree. We'll see. We'll see.
That'll be an interesting one to look at, but that's good. Okay, now next category we got who has the most to prove this year, and I'll start you off so you don't fucking take my answer.
Let's hear it.
But I'm going Trevor Lawrence, man.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one too.
I think that's without a doubt. This guy has the bag. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
And he was supposed to be a generational prospect. You have no excuses now, pal. You got some studs in that offense. You got a new coach. This dude was very successful with the Buccaneers last year with Cohen.
Yeah.
Duval, right? Like, we're gonna see what Trevor Lawrence has.
They probably accept that. I don't know. That wasn't bad,
man. Yeah. Not too bad. So we're gonna see. Well, yeah. Who you got?
That's fucking good. I'm gonna go Caleb Williams. I'm going to Caleb Williams and the Bears. Yeah, I think they've got a massive...
Especially since that shit came out about him, talking about how he was, like, trying to avoid going to the Bears and stuff. Like, dude, come on.
Oh, he's definitely a diva, and you, buddy, you better fucking put up right fucking now. And it's like... And they still have him projected to be the highest paid quarterback in the next couple seasons here, which obviously I don't fucking know at this point with Brock Purdy getting the bag. But I think Caleb Williams is a... It has to happen soon. It is there, right? We know, like when we saw and broke down some of the plays last season, the guy can fucking play. Like he was scrambling out of his ass to make something happen out of absolutely nothing. So when something starts to show now, I think Caleb Williams is going to show up here. So, but he's got a big fucking. He talked a lot of shit, man. The punter situation, this fucking situation that's coming out lately.
And
like,
they went out
way too much shit, brother. And you gotta fucking fill it in now. So
they got a new stud coach, and they went out. They beefed up that offensive line. They got every fucking weapon in the draft. Literally no excuses.
Got it.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Okay, now last one here. We'll close this up quick. Fantasy MVP candidate for the year. I'll let you start with that, and then I'll finish off.
So I'm gonna take one. It's the number one. He's right behind you on the wall there. I think Jamar Chase is gonna have an outstanding fucking season.
You think he's gonna even outdo what he did last year?
I think, I do. And if you look at the season that's unfolding before him, right, 3 fucking games, even the 4 first games here, and you talk about air yards given up. Oh my God, between Cleveland, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Denver, like he might come out and put up, I don't even know, in the first couple of seasons, like
new contract, no controversy, ready to go.
I think it's just going to be the Burrow fucking Chase show, even bigger than it was last year potentially, and definitely that start to the season. Even Detroit, like when we're looking at Detroit's secondary, Green Bay's secondary, like this is. It is a spicy start to the season, and it could be very, very lucrative for fantasy goers to pick Chase. That's where my take is, for sure.
Oh, buddy, you're getting me fired up here, man.
No, I know. Just pucker down over there, eh? Like
talk more dirty to me. Come on now.
Guys pitching at
Chase,
10.
I like it.
It's camping season, boys.
All right. Yeah. Now, like I said, I'm sticking with the non-biased takes here, but mine is going to be Bijan Robinson.
That was my other.
The Falcons.
Yep.
And that's based on he has the easiest strength of schedule against running backs, and I think that he's just going to double down on what he did last year. So I'm rocking with Bijan, man. I think he's going to be a guy, even with the Jahmyr Gibbs hype, I think it's going to be Bijan for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice. All right, man. Well, we got the juices flowing here with the NFL season happening. We're going to wrap it up here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave a comment, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. We got way more NFL content coming your way. Chappy, you got anything else you want to say?
Hey, NFL, let's just roll with this, baby. I love it. Honestly, just talking this, it's the best. 100%.
Gets me fired up.
Hit that bell,
Gets
guys.
Me fired up for sure. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Chappy and Bengals out.
Easy.